People have an expectation nowadays for recorded quality audio wherever they go, and church services are no exception. However, unlike a normal live show, a church service can be a much more complex affair, more like a TV variety show rather than your conventional concert. For example, a service could start with walk-in music, followed by a live band playing to a click with backing tracks, followed by the church leader standing at a lectern talking to the congregation, followed by individuals with handheld mics walking amongst the congregation, whereupon the band reappear on stage for a more theatrical section with multiple performers on stage. You get the idea. In addition, simultaneous multiple mixes are often required to feed breakout rooms in houses of worship. They too come in different shapes and sizes with different room acoustics and their own unique audio challenges. So the console you choose to mix these events needs to have the right tools available to help the engineer meet these challenges. Today, I will show you some of the features our most affordable range, the S series, have and why they will make a house of worship engineer's life easier. I will be taking you through the S21 digital mixing console, along with the Dante enabled stage boxes, the A16-8D and the A16-4 wall LCD. But first, let me take you through a quick recap of who DiGiCo are and where we came from. DiGiCo has been at the forefront of digital mixing console technology since the release of the D5 back in 2002. In 2007, with the launch of the SD7, DiGiCo became the first digital console manufacturer in the live sector to utilise the immense power and flexibility of FPGA technology. This was the most powerful live mixing console available until its successor, the Quantum 7, emerged onto the market in 2017, increasing the power available threefold. DiGiCo has a great heritage in live touring, and we offer the same experience, tools and most importantly sound quality to houses of worship with our S-Series range. Whilst they are more affordable, it's important to note that the S-Series offers no compromise on quality, using the same FPGA-based processing and many of the advanced features as the flagship range. I have an S21 system in front of me, consisting of our S21 work surface and Dante-enabled A16-8D and A16-4 wall LCD stage boxes. Dante is an audio networking protocol allowing for flexible patching and routing of signal and is commonly used in the houses of worship market due to its scalable nature and minimal cable requirements. The network infrastructure is discrete and can be sympathetically installed in any environment. Our S21 Dante solution provides high quality audio for all house of worship applications, whether that be front of house mixing, monitor mixing, or broadcast or streaming. Whilst it is the S21 I'm concentrating on today, there is a second console in the S-Series lineup called the S31. Both consoles offer exactly the same capabilities and feature sets, but the S31, which is up on screen now, offers a larger control surface with 10 extra phages and an extra high resolution 10-inch touchscreen. The 10-inch multi-touch screens are at the heart of the operation of the consoles. Anyone used to touchscreen devices such as iPads will feel instantly at home as they provide clear and fast access to all parameters. Gone are the days of endless searching through menus on small displays. The S-Series puts you in control with everything being just a touch away. In addition, to help make the engineer's life easier, the multi-purpose rotaries in the surface have coloured rings at their base which change colours depending on the function. Let's have a quick overview of the capabilities in this mixing console, inside and out. The S21 and S31 console provides you with 48 mono or stereo input channels, 16 mono or stereo mix output buses, and in addition to this, a dedicated stereo master bus, 2 solo buses, and a 10x8 matrix system. So for example, you could set up 6 pairs of stereo in-ear mixes for your worship band and still have 10 stereo mixes available for PA outputs, feeds to other areas within the church, or for adding effects. The rear of the console has 24 mic line inputs and 12 line outputs. The input preamps are from the SD series, our flagship range of live touring consoles. This local I/O means a church's existing analog infrastructure can be used with this console. There are 2 DMI expansion slots available for additional connectivity, whether this be for adding additional local I/O, connecting to stage boxes, waves integration, automatic microphone mixing, and Klang integration. More on these last two options later. As well as providing a host of extra connectivity options, the DMI cards provide future-proofing to the range, with support of emerging formats as and when they come to market. Additionally, a dedicated built-in UBMADI USB audio interface adds 48 channels of I/O for recording and virtual soundcheck capabilities. Some of the main features include inbuilt RTA, dynamic EQ, multiband compression, 96 kHz sampling rate, fully custom layout, custom banks, mute groups, VCA spill, snapshots, macros, and not forgetting the host of extra tools and features inside the work surface. Let me go over some of the key features that make this console so easy to use. By simply tapping at the top of any channel on the touchscreen, the complete routing and signal flow of an input channel or output bus is displayed, which helps inexperienced engineers visualize the signal path through the console. Patching is very straightforward, where any input source can be routed to a channel, either one channel at a time or by utilizing a feature called ripple route, which allows for multiple consecutive inputs to be routed quickly, thereby speeding up the patching process. With the S series, you have all the tools to mix your worship and to improve vocal intelligibility, helping make the pastor's message clear to all. Tools such as high pass and low pass filters on inputs and outputs, utilised widely for clearing up muddy bass sections when mixing your worship band. EQ, compression and gates on every input and output channel. Readily selectable without the need to search through small menus, and no need to worry about not having these tools available anywhere in your console. 21 Digi Tubes to enhance the presence of your important instruments, such as adding warmth to your worship leader's guitar. 21 Multiband Compressors, great to help control microphone proximity effects, or to boost a singer's vocals across the mix. 21 Dynamic EQs, to help control the worship leader's voice, whether they are speaking loudly or quietly into the microphone or away from it. 8 onboard effects engines featuring a range of delay, reverb and modulation effects to provide concert level immersion within the mix. 16 32-band graphic EQs for controlling problem frequencies and avoiding feedback when using on-stage monitoring. Features such as fully customized channel layout, custom bank button, control group spill, as well as the overview window will mean any channel is instantly available to use and view for the user. Flexible locking of fader banks will also mean your important channels, such as your worship leader, will always be to hand. With DiGiCo, you can quickly adjust your mix without worrying about menus or open and closing of separate windows. A quick tap of the desired channel at the bottom of either screens will bring that channel's information to the surface. This speed and simplicity of operation is vital when the console is being operated by users and volunteers with a wide range of experience. Recording worship couldn't be easier. With the inbuilt USB interface, the UBMADI connecting to any Mac or PC and compatible with all standard recording software. 48 channels can be recorded with a single USB cable. This interface can also be used to provide a virtual soundcheck environment. This is a valuable tool for soundcheck, system check, as well as training for non-experienced users. As with all DiGiCo consoles, offline console software is available for both Mac and PC. This freely available software will allow everyone to experience and interact with the user interface. A great training aid, as this replicates the software on the console. The offline software also allows for setting up of a front of house, monitor or broadcast session away from the console. Simply load the session from a USB stick when you arrive. A free iPad app is also available for wireless remote mixing in your venue, providing, for instance, the front of house engineer with the opportunity to walk around the church to ensure all members of the congregation are getting the same audio quality wherever they sit. Many churches rely on more than just a simple pair of speakers beside the stage. They will have additional speakers within the church to provide an even coverage throughout. They also often require the ability to send the front of house mix to other areas, such as additional breakout rooms, or provide a left-right mix to a camera. The S-Series consoles address this by having a 10 input, 8 output matrix that enables a source to be fed to multiple destinations with their own separate level. Church services can be quite complex, so a console's speed of programming and its ability to easily and quickly recall settings is a big advantage. The S-Series provides the tools required to achieve this with something we call snapshots. Think of a snapshot like taking a photo of the surface that records all the console settings at that particular point in time. The engineer can then recall these snapshots at any time, and we also provide additional tools to enable you to decide which of the console's parameters are not changed when a snapshot is recalled. Invaluable, for instance, for ensuring the worship leader's microphone is not accidentally muted when moving on to the next part of the service. Let's now talk about the new Dante-enabled stage boxes. With the introduction of the A16-8D and the A16-4 wall LCD, the sonic clarity and sound quality that DiGiCo is renowned for within the live touring industry is now possible within the houses of worship market, using the industry standard Dante network. The example system set up in front of me provides 32 mic line inputs and 12 outputs via the Dante connected stage boxes. This setup can be easily expanded with additional stage racks so your system can grow as your worship band or service grows. Also shown is the S21 console and DMI Dante 64 at 96 expansion I/O module. As you can see, I have my A16-8D rack mounted. However, these are also available with rugged rubber sides for placement on stage. First, let's have a look at this new stage box. The A16-8D is a 4U rack mountable stage box that has 16 mic line inputs and 8 outputs. The 48 volt phantom power, gain and pad options are all controlled by the console over the Dante network. Included next to each input is a phantom power indicator. This makes it easy to spot if the 48 volt microphone power is enabled on the correct sockets, making setup simple and quick. On the side of both Dante-enabled stage boxes are two RJ45 network ports. This allows for a redundant connection of a single stage box or expansion to additional stage boxes. All DiGiCo Dante products support network redundancy. A redundant setup sends 2 copies of all the Dante information, audio, clock data, control messages, etc. across 2 separate networks, so that should one network fail for any reason, maybe due to a broken cable or power outage, then audio will not stop flowing through the system. To add to, and in cases further enhance the system, we can add the A16-4 wall LCD, the 16 input and 4 output stage box. What makes this particular stage box appealing is the provision of an LCD panel above every socket. This means that each I/O socket on this stage box can have a custom name assigned to it, all set up through the Dante controller software. This could make an amazing addition to any install, where anyone from sound engineers to your part-time volunteers needing to plug a cable in will be able to clearly see where they need to connect to, thus reducing the chances of patching errors. The big advantage of Dante is that the Dante-enabled stage boxes can be connected to the console via your church's existing Ethernet-based IT network, thereby saving on expensive additional analog or digital cabling infrastructure. The next component in this system is the DMI Dante 64 at 96 expansion card, compatible across all DiGiCo platforms. This is a DiGiCo multi-channel input module that features automatic sample rate conversion and is required to connect the Dante stage racks to the S-Series desk. What I mean by automatic is the card will automatically up or down sample rate convert the incoming audio to match the sample rate of your console. This is designed to allow the quickest setup for less experienced users. Up to 64 channels of inputs and 64 channels of outputs are available on this card. And of course, with 2 DMI slots on an S-Series console, you could have 2 installed into the back of the S-Series. This will allow you to expand as productions get bigger and your church grows. DiGiCo not only offer industry-leading cost-effective mixing solutions, but a range of add-on devices and equipment can be specified to enhance and expand your audio solutions. Larger houses of worship setups might require a more networked audio-based solution. Something more flexible in distributing audio across multiple rooms with simple control. The solution for this can be found with the Fourier 4 processing engine, DiGiCo's answer for your installed networked audio needs. The compact processing engine provides control, routing and mixing capabilities for up to 4 areas. The 536 by 538 point-to-point matrix allows the routing of any input signal to any output or area. The system includes a range of I/O and control peripherals that can interface over a standard standalone Ethernet network. This provides the infrastructure required to put individual control where you need it. In its simplest form, you could distribute audio to various breakout rooms and provide each with their own volume control, using one of the control devices we provide, such as the Con1, an easy-to-use single rotary controlled programmable wall plate with TFT displays. Please note, there are also 2 other controllers available for desktop mounting, the Con6 and the Con8. For large campuses, Fourier 4 is the perfect audio hub to which all areas are connected, where audio can be fed back and forth via a variety of supported formats such as Dante, optical, MADI, and as mentioned earlier, the S-Series consoles benefit from the extensive expansion options offered by the DMI slots. In addition to being able to expand the I/O in the form of the various analog and digital DMI cards that we offer, there are 2 other cards worthy of mentioning of particular interest to houses of worship. First up is the Klang Immersive Audio DMI card. Many house of worship musicians like to be able to control their own inner monitor mix, and the Klang card, which can provide up to 16 discrete immersive mixes for your worship band, provides just such a capability. Each musician can be in control of their own in-ear mix via their own Android, Apple or Windows device, running a very intuitive and simple to use Klang app. And for those musicians who prefer to use dedicated hardware controllers to adjust their mix, watch this space. Where the Klang system really wins over other personal monitor systems is its unique immersive capabilities. Klang emulates the human ear and provides for a much more natural listening experience with increased clarity. More importantly, it protects the musician's hearing because typically listening levels tend to be around 3 dB lower in a musician's immersive mix compared to conventional stereo. Klang can also be applied to your broadcast or streamed audio, ensuring worship is delivered to the home in an immersive nature. Most people listen to streams with headphones, which can lead to an unnatural sound, making the user feel distant instead of immersed and part of the performance. The relaxed, natural sound of Klang makes audiences feel like being part of a production, instead of just listening to it. The second DMI card worthy of note is the DMI Automatic Mic Mixing Card, or DMI AMM for short. When running a service where there are multiple mics open at once, for instance during a debate involving a number of participants, the addition of this card to your S-Series console will enable the desk to automatically control the gains of mic preamps in real time, dramatically reducing feedback and noise from adjacent microphones. So, ultimately, with industry-leading processing and sound quality, installing a DiGiCo system will allow you to create beautiful worship music, creating an environment that invites worship to happen. Thanks for listening.